Hi, my name's Eric, welcome back to my channel. Let's talk again about Kylie Minogue. It's been a while since I reacted to Impossible Princess, and since she just announced her upcoming album Disco, today I'm going to react to her 2001 album Fever and break down the album's lyrics. I've heard really good things about this album, and Can't Get You Out of My Head is of course one of the most iconic pop songs of the last 20 years, so I'm very excited to be listening to this album for the very first time. Before I dive in, let me know in the comments down below what Kylie Minogue album I should react to next. Check the description box for a link to a list of nonprofits you can donate to. Please subscribe to be here when I post new videos every week, and hit the bell icon to be notified when my videos go live. Without further ado, track number 1 is More, More, More. I like how we're thrown into the heat of the action. Ooh. Oh, this is super catchy. I'm really enjoying the electro disco vibes. Wow, I wasn't expecting it to be just so fun and so catchy right off the bat. That was a great opener. And the opener with this intense, impassioned vocal performance and, of course, the lyrics sets up basically what I think will be the idea of this album, which is an expression of desire. I've talked about this in a good number of videos, but the image of heat in general tends to have dual meanings. First, signifying passion and intensity, and second, warning of danger. She opens the song saying, "Here I am with my desire, feel it burning just for you." And she goes on to give this person a sort of come hither, saying how badly she wants and needs to feel them. Just looking at the titles of the tracks to come, and of course of the album, we have this motif of heat, fever, and burning, and More, More, More starts the album from this very general place of, okay, I've got the hots for you, now let's act on it. Track number 2 is Love at First Sight. Music being a metaphor for intimacy. Ooh. Okay, yet another really fun, re-listenable dance song there. Not quite as weird and experimental as some of the stuff on Impossible Princess, but this is something closer to an album in the vein of Confessions on a Dance Floor, where it is very much a party all the way through. And what Kylie does here is that she expands on the opener's mention of this love taking her somewhere new by further describing this love as an escape. She says that before she met this person, she was just having one of those days, didn't know what to do, then there was you. And she talks about how then life opened up to her. Her luck changed, she felt motivated, the sky filled with stars, stars of course being symbols of fate and possibility. This very well could be my pessimism speaking, but typically on the other albums we've listened to together, when there's a motif of burning, we get destruction, and when there's a motif of escape, or fantasy, we get some sort of deception. But we'll see what happens. Track number 3 is Can't Get You Out of My Head. So that was a fun noise in the background there. This song very much sounds of its time, but it's so singular and so odd and so cool. Yes. We've got this nice balance of this intense desire and begging, but also like seduction. How does that song slap so hard? It's just so good. It is so, oh my god, I want to listen to it again. And what's cool is that it has that late 90s, early aughts sort of weird stillness that a lot of dance pop had. It didn't have that punchy dynamism of like early 2010s electro pop, but it still has so much energy and is so incredibly catchy. The song's gonna be stuck in my head for like at least a year now. Lyrically, something that you'll notice in most, if not all, albums about love is a preoccupation with power and control. And generally, there'll be a moment where the person who's in love will suddenly become conscious of the fact that they are giving themselves over to their partner and relinquishing some power. And this is that moment on this album. Because it starts out from a place of being very straightforward. She is obsessed with this person, all she wants to do is be with them, just pure, uncomplicated desire. And then before the second chorus hits, she says, "There's a dark secret in me, don't leave me locked in your heart, set me free, feel the need in me." If this person withholds love, they keep her in need, and in doing so they control her, and understandably, that's scary to her. Track number 4 is the title track, Fever. I'm really enjoying the production here too, it's really fun. I really like this melody. I really like that track. I love the production. The melody's really beautiful. The lyrics are really cute, and I'll talk about them in a moment. Yeah, really great track. So as we could expect, she describes this love as a fever and extends this illness metaphor to describe the process of falling in love as being bitten by a bug and coming down with an incurable affliction. If only love were the global pandemic we were dealing with right now. And then she says, "There ain't a doctor in this town who is more qualified than you to be so adored." So she says, "I'm sick with love, and you've got the medicine." And yes, on the one hand, to someone who's not a killjoy, this is just a cute come-on. But the illness imagery also conveys her vulnerability and points to the possibility of her being hurt. Track number 5 is Give It To Me. Ooh. Okay, yeah, another banger. Moved so quickly, so high intensity, so much fun. So Kylie is still in begging and pleading territory, and on the second verse she introduces the idea of this love as a bad habit, meaning, of course, a dependency or addiction. She says that she needs a shot of love and that she can't get enough. So just like the confinement imagery on Can't Get You Out of My Head and the illness imagery on Fever, This is just another way that she's telling us about this unequal power dynamic. And on the outro, she describes her lover as a fantasy, which again has these dual properties of idealism and fakeness. So I'm curious to see if and when this intense desire will reach its breaking point. Maybe it'll be on track number 6, Fragile. Got some Euro dance in here. Okay, very nice. A little bit more on the chill side, but still in the same sort of place of vulnerability and confessing her love for this person again and again. And in fact, she's reaching the point where her desire is so strong that it hurts. And her susceptibility to this intense, painful emotion, to me, sets up a character who might react to heartbreak in some especially dramatic ways. So she's establishing the stakes of this love story. On the pre-chorus and the chorus, she says, "I get butterflies, water in my eyes, 'cause I'm fragile when I hear your name." Basically, this love makes her a mess. She's weepy, she can't sleep, she's constantly in this heightened state of emotion. So once again, we're reminded of the power that this love has over her. Track number 7 is Come Into My World. Sounds like the same synth from Can't Get You Out of My Head. Okay, that track had a nice balance of the energetic dance element and this sort of serene, ethereal vocal performance. It very much felt like the music of my early childhood, so it was very nostalgic. On the first verse, Kylie breaks down her body in the style of a blazon, and I believe I mentioned a blazon in my Mariah Carey reaction, but it's basically a poetic form in which the author breaks down the subject's body into its parts, and traditionally it was pretty objectifying of women. But here she does it to herself, saying that she'll give over every part of herself to her lover in service of this love. She also conveys that love has overtaken her by describing how every part of her body is metonymically an embodiment of love. Like her heart was made to beat for two and her eyes were meant to watch her partner. So this is yet another step, another escalation in her bargaining for her lover's affection. Track number 8 is In Your Eyes. Got more of a house. Oh, she's actually doubting the relationship now. Interesting. Oh, she has like a fate motif too here. It's in your eyes. I can tell what you're thinking. It's in your eyes. That was cool. That track seemed to combine the drama and the orchestrations of disco with a house beat. Very cool. And I think this is the first time that we really see Kylie doubting this love. The chorus goes, It's in your eyes, I can tell what you're thinking, my heart is sinking too. It's no surprise, I've been watching you lately. I wanna make it with you. She can feel her partner pulling away and it's hurting her. And this retroactively explains the opening lines when she says, "What on earth am I to do? In this crowded place, there is only you." She's saying, what will I do without you? This person has become the center of her universe. She can be in a crowd of people and only think about this one lover. So we begin to realize, after 8 songs seemingly about the same person, that there's a whole world out there. So how will it feel to return to the real world after being in the world of this relationship for all this time? Track number 9 is Dance Floor. Ooh, she is not happy. What other place to go after you've broken up with someone? That was another super fun track. Wow, this album is just completely stacked with bangers. But this track also marks a pretty abrupt change in the story of this album because for 7 tracks it was basically smooth sailing, and then we got to In Your Eyes and doubt started to creep in, and then here they've already broken up and Kylie seems to be handling it really well and to be really confident and resolute in her independence. She says on the first verse, "You stole my heart and now you're giving me up," and then on the pre-chorus, "I'm sick and tired of pleasing you." So she seems to be doing pretty okay considering just how invested she was emotionally on tracks like Fragile. So she says she's going to let it all out on the dance floor, and the fact that she has moved on so quickly makes me wonder just how well her character will hold up over these last few tracks. Track number 10 is Love Affair. Okay, so it sounds like she's possibly moving on to the next stage after this breakup. My feeling is that she's hooking up with someone new because she says on the chorus, "I'm only here for a little while, would you like to take me out tonight?" She's setting the parameters very quickly. This is just a momentary thing, you're my rebound. But to me, this could take on 2 deeper meanings. Either she's disillusioned with love and doesn't believe it can last, so she seeks out the thrill of intimacy without the emotional strings attached, or she's about to catch feelings again. Track number 11 is Your Love. Very sweet, but also kind of similar emotional territory to where we were earlier. Because as I kind of predicted, Kylie is back to square one, and on the first verse she says, "Now is the time to express my love, want you to hear my confession, you're my obsession." She spent maybe a track and a half as no nonsense, no love Kylie, but now lovey-dovey, vulnerable Kylie makes a grand re-entrance. And she acknowledges this on the chorus when she says, "Your love's got me going around and around." Because whether this is the same partner or not, she's entering a cycle in her love life. And she also signals this to us by talking about the skies and the sun on the second verse. On Love at First Sight, the sky and the stars represented fate and hope in love, but here it's clear that they also represent cycles. And her prior love was represented by the stars at night, and her new love is represented by the morning sun. So she has this renewed optimism and has fallen into this on-again, off-again pattern with love. The final track, track number 12, is Burning Up.
Down to the disco, everything stops. My heart starts racing when I see you. Burn up, baby, I'm burning up.
Ooh. We've got this rising pitch like rising stakes.
My pulse is pumping, my heart may burst. If you drink me up, I'm gonna quench your thirst. Baby,
Wow, and that is how the album ends. Where arguably Your Love, with the declaration of her obsession, paralleled Can't Get You Out of My Head, this track might parallel Fever, with her seeing this love interest and getting all hot and bothered. So this is yet another iteration of Kylie expressing the intensity of her desire, as also conveyed by the rising pitch on the chorus. And with that building desire, we circle back pretty neatly to where we started out on the album, with Kylie falling into this Groundhog Day loop of falling in too deep, pulling back, and then falling right back in. But she does mention on this track that her lover isn't very nice and honest, so her past negative experiences now are coloring these still existing patterns. Overall, this was a really fun and consistent album. I think part of the reason for that consistency is that it doesn't aspire to the weird experimental qualities of Impossible Princess, but this album definitely has its own merits. It is so high energy, it never lets up on its intensity, which perfectly matches the feverish desire that Kylie is expressing. I think Can't Get You Out of My Head is still my favorite track, but there were so many really fun dance songs that I definitely will be returning to. So thank you to everyone who suggested that I return to Kylie Minogue's discography. And again, please let me know in the comments down below what Kylie album I should react to next, as well as any other topics you'd like to see me cover on my channel. Check the description for that donation link. Please subscribe to be here when I post new videos every week. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you are staying safe and healthy. And until next time, that's it.